I'm back for the second time. I had to delete my last video because I made a mistake. Anyway, here we go. Here's this problem. 120 and 40. What is my angle here? I hope you figured it out. 120 plus 40 is 160. Divided by 2 gave me 80. Yes, that's the same answer as the last one, but that's okay. 80. And then this one over here is its linear pair, so this is 100. So there are your two angles. Okay, hopefully that's all making sense to you, and we can move on. Here we go. Now, let me do a problem where I don't give you both of the arcs to average to the middle. I'm going to give you one of the arcs and one of the angles, and you have to figure out the other arc. Okay, let's see what I mean here. Okay, let's say I give you this arc down here is 100. Okay? This angle right here is 75. And you have to figure out the missing arc up here, and I'm going to call that X. Okay? Now you're just going to use your formula, add the arcs together, divide by 2, and it gives you the angle. So X is my first arc, plus my second intercepted arc is the 100 degree. I'm going to divide it by 2 because I'm averaging the arcs and set it equal to my angle, which is 75 degrees. Now from here, I'll stick a 1 under here and do a cross product. So 75 times 2 is 150. 150 is equal to X plus 100. Subtract 100 from both sides, and my arc is 50. Okay, see if that makes sense. If I have an arc that's 50 up here, 50 plus 100 is 150, divided by 2 is 75. It works. Okay, so you average the arcs to get the angle. Or the other way you can think about it is this. Okay, this angle over here is also 75, isn't it? Because they're vertical. If I take those two together, they add up to the sum of these two too. 75 to 75, 150, 150. So you can think about it that way too if you want. Anyway, just for those that like a little simpler approach. And that's how you do the nomad angles, or what I call the nomad angles. Okay? I think we have a couple little other problems to do in sections, and this has to do with lesson 9. Okay, lesson 9. Now I'm shifting gears a little bit. That first part was in section 8. Now we're going to section 9. Section 9 is a little bit tricky. There are 3 different scenarios. You have 2 tangents, a tangent, and a secant. So let's say you have a secant and then a tangent. Okay, and we're going to pretend like my tangents are good, even though they're not drawn very well. So you got 2 tangents on a circle, a secant and a tangent on a circle, or 2 secants on a circle. And we have angles formed, don't we? We have an angle way out here, and way out here. Now notice, where's the vertex? The vertex is outside the circle. So we do all 3 of these the same way. It's very, very easy. You just do it the same way. Now, I'm going to start with the 2 secant, or the 2 tangents first. Show you how to work it this way, but the same applies for all 3. So the key on all these problems in the lesson is, where is the vertex? Okay, let's start with our 2 tangents, because to me this is the easiest one to see anyway. Okay, again, pretend like I have decent tangents here. We're going to pretend like that just really crosses in one spot over here. Okay, here is my angle, and if I don't know my angle, I'm just going to call it X. Now, to find angle X, I'm going to take the two intercepted arcs. It's got two arcs, doesn't it? It's got this little one, and then it's got the bigger one, okay? And this is the formula. Big arc, so the big intercepted arc, minus, so this is different than the last formula. Last one we added. Small arc, but we still divide by 2 to get the angle, okay? So it's the big arc minus the small arc divided by 2 gives us the angle. Okay, so let me give you some numbers and we can practice. Okay, let's say this big arc is 200 degrees, okay? So that's all I'm going to give you because remember, these are tangents. So if this is a tangent point and this is 200 degrees, I can figure this part of the arc out by subtracting from 360. So that means if this is 200, 360 minus 200 gives me 160. So the small arc is 160. Now I can plug and chug into my formula. 200 minus 160 divided by 2. The big arc measure minus the small arc measure divided by 2 gives me the angle. So that's 40. So that means this angle is 20 degrees. 200 minus 160 is 40. 40 divided by 2 is 20. So there's my angle. So there's the formula. And it works for all 3 scenarios. 2 tangents, a secant and a tangent, or 2 secants. So let's look at all those scenarios. That's the first one. The second one would be a secant and a tangent. So if I have a secant and then I have a tangent, okay? Now notice the vertex is still outside the circle. So we're going to call that X. But this time I have to give you a little more information. Let's say that the big arc over here, this big arc is 180 degrees. This small arc over here is 60 degrees. You have to figure out the angle. Very simple. 180 minus 60. Big arc minus small arc divided by 2. So 180 minus 60, 120 divided by 2 is 60 degrees. That means this angle down here is 60 degrees. And there you go. So that's a secant and a tangent. Same formula. Big arc minus small arc divided by 2 gives me the angle on the outside. And the very last scenario is 2 secants. Now sometimes you have to work a little bit to find an arc. So let's see if I can come up with one where you have to work a little bit harder to come up with an angle, with an arc. Now, I'll keep this one pretty simple for now. Okay, let's say we have 2 secants, and they're secants because they have chords on them, right? We talked about that earlier in the week. So, let's say this arc is 80, and this arc is 20. What is this angle down here? Okay, again, vertex, where's the vertex? Outside the circle. So if it's outside the circle, you do 80 big arc minus small arc divided by 2. And that gives us angle. So 80 minus 20 is 60. And 60 divided by 2 is 30 degrees. So this angle out here is 30 degrees. Now you might have to work on backwards. You still use the same formula. You just may be given, let's say, this angle and maybe this arc, and you have to figure out the big arc. You could do that too. Use the same formula. Okay, well, good luck with this lesson. And I hope that's all you need.